I'm going inside.
Oh? I'm afraid St. George's is closed for the day.
I'm not a customer. I'm here to see the owner.
Why don't you just leave your name and number with me, and I'll tell him you stopped by.
Listen, if Gabriel is here, he'll want to see me. Is he? Here?
I really couldn't say for certain, but in the morning...
Gracie, say goodnight.
Welcome back, everyone, to more Gabriel night. Looks like Gabe's gonna have a good night.
You came. I didn't think you would.
I didn't think I would either.
Your eyes. I could show you around a little. It's not much, but...
Please don't. I couldn't focus on much of anything right now.
Yeah, I know. God, what is it about you?
Just shut up and kiss me.
Get it, Gabe, get it. Welcome to day 4. I spoke to one who smelled of death. He gave to me his ears, and crosses that were marked were made into a veil of tears. Oh, she saw her leaving, that's for show. Grace is being quiet.
You're not speaking to me this morning?
Don't be silly. I just have nothing to say.
Have it your way. Have you noticed this guy outside the shop?
Yeah, he gives me the creeps. I wish he'd go away.
Did you find out anything about that pattern I gave you?
Yeah, I did find something. I checked the microfiche at the public library. I found an article about a murder in 1810. The newspaper published part of a pattern found around the body. It looks damn close.
You're incredible. All that work.
Forget it.
Today's newspaper is on the counter.
Well, let's read it. It's tradition.
Times dated June 21st, 1993. Gabriel's eye is immediately drawn to an article about the voodoo murders. He scans it quickly.
I don't believe this. They've closed the case.
What case?
The voodoo murders case. The paper says that the police have learned that the murders were a result of an underworld cartel war, and that the war is over.
That's not good?
It's ridiculous. And what about the killers? And the voodoo angle, they never got anything on that.
I know you were into it, Gabriel, but if it's over, that's hardly a negative. Anyway, if you're that upset, why don't you talk it over with your pal Mosley?
You don't get it, Grace. Just forget it, okay?
Gabriel decides to check his horoscope, despite his disgust. Death walks close to you today. Resist temptation lest his eye fall on you, too.
Peachy.
Gabriel also spots an ad for Sam Springleton, a jeweler. Sam hangs out at the Napoleon House.
Alright, got some more leads here. So yeah, wrapping up the voodoo murders and blaming it on an underworld cartel. Sounds like a load of shit to me.
Got a minute, Greg?
What's up?
Do you have messages for me?
Your grandmother called. She said to remind you to stop by and go through your father's things.
Okay. Do you have messages for me?
That man from Germany called again, Wolfgang Ritter. Now he's claiming to be a relative of yours.
Interesting. Can I get that phone number for Wolfgang Ritter?
Sure, I'll give it to you when we're done talking. Here's that phone number.
Thanks.
The hell's up with this guy? Stop staring in my fucking window, buddy.
Gabriel watches the man watching the shop.
That's harassment.
Get the hell out of here.
The figure outside does not respond.
Let's go outside and punch him in the face.
I'm out of here. Try not to sell out the store while I'm gone.
Uh-huh.
Can't interact with them. Some new locations. But first, let's head to the police department. We were told to go talk to Mosley. Alright, back to the police station. See if we can get Mosley to reopen this case.
Knight, hate to tell you this, but you're out of a book. The Voodoo Murders case has been closed.
I had a feeling you
Bullshit.
were gonna say that. Son of a bitch. I have to tell you, bud, I'm pretty pissed off about this case being closed. You guys are making a big mistake.
Hey, I'm not any happier about it than you are, Knight, but I've got my orders.
How can I convince you to reopen the case?
Look, the department's not interested.
So, couldn't you make them interested?
With what? I got 7 bodies and still no leads. The voodoo angle's worthless, and besides, these people aren't hurting anybody but out-of-town drug dealers and hitmen.
The voodoo stuff is not worthless. It's the key to the whole thing. And these people are dangerous. They need to be stopped.
Okay, you want me to reopen this case? Prove what you just said.
What do you mean?
You need to prove that there's a legitimate voodoo cult in Narland. Prove that they're a threat. Get me a lead on the cult.
How can I convince...
I already... You still prove that there's a
Alright, we gotta prove there's a cult.
So how do you find anything?
Hey, I get...
Was hoping for some new insults, but alas, there are none. So, we'll take our fun elsewhere.
I'll let you get back to it.
Later, Knight.
Changed the music in the office here. Let's head to... Let's see. Go hang out with Grandma.
Gabriel, I'm so glad you stopped by.
Oh, sorry it's been a while, Grandma.
Not at all. Give me a kiss.
Now come on, sit down. Tell me how you're doing.
The sofa has a worn blue chintz pattern that Gabriel remembers fondly.
How have you been, Gran?
Just fine, dear. I'm sorry I bothered you at work, but, I was hoping you'd get a chance to go through your father's things in the attic.
Don't be silly. You can call me anytime. Tell me about our family.
Who would you like to hear about? Your granddad, your father, or your mother?
I guess all of them.
Tell me something about Granddad.
Your granddad immigrated to America when he was 21. He walked his way through school, met and married me, and we had your father, Philip.
Tell me something about
Your granddad supported me and your father with bookkeeping. Oh, I'll tell you what, though, he hated every minute of it. Didn't really like bookkeeping one bit. Maybe that was why he had the worst luck with jobs. Oh, the nights he'd come home afraid to tell me he lost another. And I'd tell him it didn't matter to me, but he felt ashamed, Gabriel.
Tell me something about Granddad.
Harrison was only 36 when he died. Your father was 8 years old at the time. Your granddad was hit by a streetcar in the business district. It took me nearly a year to believe he was really gone.
I'm sorry, Gran.
That's a shitty way to go.
Oh, I know you are, dear.
Tell me something about...
Did you know that your granddad was a poet? He was. He wrote the most beautiful poetry for me when we were courting. I always thought he should have done something with that gift, but he was such a practical man. Didn't believe in chasing after dreams.
And tell me about my father.
Your father was my only child. How we adored him.
And tell me about my...
Philip suffered from terrible nightmares, just like your granddad did. Oh, they were two peas in a pod.
Great. Like father, like son.
And tell me about my father.
When Philip met your mother, oh, it was love at first sight. They were married 2 weeks later. Never looked at a girl seriously until then, and he looked at plenty. You have your father's way with women, Gabriel. And your granddad's.
Little do you know, Grammy.
I wanted to just lay down and die when he and your mother were killed in that car crash when you were only 8. It was the thought of taking care of you that kept me going, Gabriel. The police say your father swerved off the road after being frightened by something. Perhaps a deer in the road or a wildcat.
And tell me about my father.
Your granddad wanted Philip to have a normal life. He was obsessed by that thought. He pushed Philip to go to law school, but Philip was driven to art. He painted almost in a daze. He would get so inside himself when he worked. He always hated that it was Margaret's money that supported the three of you when his painting couldn't. I kept telling him, try something more cheerful, like a landscape or two, but he couldn't do it. His work was just too dark and disturbing for the public, you know.
Tell me about my mother.
Your mother was Margaret Templeton when your father met her. She came from a very wealthy Creole family in New Orleans. She was beautiful and reckless. She was madly in love with your father, of course, but I also think she liked to find her family. Since you're so interested in family history these days, why don't you go by St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 and visit the family tomb? It would be such a sweet gesture.
It's just past the Ross tomb, right? Oh, maybe I will. Tell tell me about my...
Your mother's family refused to give her money after the marriage. All she had left was a modest trust fund from her great aunt, who happened to like Philip. The remainder of your mother's trust fund became yours when she died. That's what you used to open your bookshop. The Templetons are all gone now. Every last one of them. Oh, they never wanted anything to do with us, of course. What a waste.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Voodoo? What an odd question, Gabriel. Of course, you always were interested in monster movies and all that other weird stuff. You get that from your father and granddad. I don't know anything about it, dear. Of course, it was very big in New Orleans at one time, but you don't hear so much about it these days. Too much else in the world to worry about, I guess.
What can you tell me about the voodoo murders?
Oh, Gabriel, nothing. And I don't want to. I sometimes
Grandma don't want to talk
what
about this
world is
disturbing
coming
shit.
to.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
New Orleans is very southern, of course, though not as much as it used to be when I was a girl. It's gotten much more influenced by the East Coast and that California stuff. Still, it hasn't changed as much as other places, I reckon. We've always been happy here. My goodness, boy, you lived here all your life, just like me. I can't tell you much that you don't already know.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
St. John's Eve? I remember when I was a girl, we always had a St. John's Eve Mass. The Mass was said at midnight, and we held candles. One time, on the way home, we were waylaid by a large group of drunken revelers. They didn't hurt us, but oh, I was frightened. My father was furious. We never went to St. John's Eve Mass after that.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
Tell me all, Grandma.
I haven't celebrated it in years.
Spit it out, Wrinkles.
I'm sure there's still Mass in the more traditional churches, but I don't go.
Have you ever heard of Marie Laveau?
Marie Laveau. Oh, of course. She was that voodoo woman, wasn't she? She preyed on people's fears and superstitions, is what I think. There are always those willing to take other people's money for nothing. You stay away from people like that, Gabriel.
Yes, Gran. Do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes? What kind of snakes, dear?
I don't know, local kinds.
Well, we used to get cottonmouths in the park when I was a girl, but I haven't heard of one.
I got
of these
cottonmouth right now.
years. Milk snakes and garter snakes are also around these parts, but they can't hurt you.
Thanks, Gran. Does the phrase Cabrice and Co. mean anything to you?
Something without something, I think. Oh, my French is so rusty, I swear my mind is going.
No, it's okay. Thanks. Does the name Ogun Badakri mean anything to you?
What, dear?
Never mind. Have you ever heard of Damballa?
What, dear?
Never mind.
Speaking that nonsense language.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
I don't know much about any kind of voodoo, Gabriel.
You know, you get prettier every time I see you.
Oh, you.
Have you baked any of your incredible molasses pies lately?
No, dear. But you let me know when you want some and I'll whip up a half a dozen.
You've lost weight. Are you courting a new man?
Oh, Gabriel, don't be silly. You know there'll never be anyone but your granddad for me.
Your hair looks very pretty today, Gran.
Well, thank you, dear. So did... Well, you've always had such nice, thick hair, Gabriel.
You know, I always tell people that my Gran is the prettiest grand old belle in the city.
Oh, dear. You shouldn't talk so.
What's new, Gran?
I've been
Grandma's
working on
boy
bracelets
achievement.
for the church bazaar. Keeps me busy.
for
You know anything
complimenting
about animal
Granny.
masks?
Why, no, dear. Do you mean Mardi Gras masks?
Never mind, Gran. Can you tell me anything about a secret voodoo hound fall?
Gabriel, my goodness. What are you up to these days?
Oh, nothing, Gran, really.
You'd better not be. You know you're the only family I have left.
I know, Gran. It's okay. Done anything interesting lately?
I raised you.
Lately, Gran.
Oh, you know me, Gabriel. I always got my nose poked in something.
It must run in the family. Oh, nothing. Never mind.
All right, dear.
I'm gonna go up to the attic, Gran.
Be careful of the dust.
The hell's dust gonna do to me?
An elaborate mechanical clock, probably of German origin, is among the discarded treasures of the attic. It's an old dress dummy that Gran had in her sewing room years ago.
My first impression of the female form.
It's an old, dusty bicycle tire.
It looks pretty heavy. There's a lot of Granddad's old stuff in here. Might be something interesting. What's this? It's some sort of key.
Basically move items around. Pretty sure we just need the key.
More of Harrison Knight's German books.
Just what I need.
Need to fill this stein up with some brew. Alright, little puzzle. So the German poem that we read back in the bookstore several episodes ago translates to "Three dragons creep in my sleep. The soul it wants alive to obliterate. With breath of fire, tongue split. Enjoy it with every meal." Now don't ask me what that means, but the key is 3 dragons.
There's an interesting... There's an... The key winds the clock's mechanism.
Granddaddy, you old fox.
You old fox, granddaddy. Let's see what we got here.
The letter is written in German, but Gabriel determines what he can about it. It was sent from a place called Schloss Ritter in Rittersberg, West Germany. The letter is addressed to mein Sohn Heinz and signed Wilhelm Ritter. One of the reoccurring words strewn throughout the letter is the word Schattenjäger. The only other thing that Gabriel can decipher
Take a
about
shot
the
of
letter
Jaeger.
is a sense of urgency in the handwriting and in the heavy use of a quill tip, bold strokes, and underlining. The back of the photo has the following written on it. Schloss Ritter, 1925.
Golf was never my game. I'm not sure what my game was, but it wasn't golf.
All right, we have some more information now, I believe, to talk to Granny about. It's a nice bong there, Granny. See that in the corner.
Can we talk, Gran?
Of course, my boy. How can I help?
Do you know anyone named Heinz Ritter?
Hans Ritter. Oh, Gabriel. Where did you hear that name?
I found a letter in Granddaddy's clock.
Oh, I promised I'd never tell you or your father, but I suppose it doesn't matter now.
Tell me, Gran.
Your granddad's name was Hans Ritter before he came to America. He changed it to Harrison Knight legally when he arrived.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
Schottenjäger? Schottenjäger? Oh, how odd, Gabriel. I haven't heard that word in years. My goodness, you've given me a chill. Your granddad used to say that sometimes in his sleep.
Really? Do you know what it means?
No, I'm afraid not. I asked him about it once. I don't think he answered me. Odd.
Huh. Thanks, Gran. Do you know anyone named Wolfgang Ritter?
Wolfgang Ritter? Oh, no, dear.
Huh. Odd.
As I said, your granddad's surname was originally Ritter.
Why did Granddad change his name?
I don't know. I tried to ask him about his family and his life before America, but he didn't want to talk about it. He never even told me about his name change. I found out one day when I saw his passport in a drawer. Since he obviously found it painful, I never questioned him about it. But I'm sure it wasn't trouble with the law. Your granddad was the best man I ever knew.
Oh.
He believed in some family curse. Thought that he could spare Philip and Philip's children from what he called old nightmares. Whatever Harrison wanted to spare you, though. Oh, it cost him plenty. He never did sleep well, and he would often get a far-away, guilty look in his eyes. He was wrestling with something he thought he should be doing, someplace he thought he ought to be. I don't know how he could think that he should be anywhere but with me and our child. It's a terrible way to live.
Oh, nothing. Never mind.
All right, Granny.
Dear.
I think we soaked you for enough information here.
Well, Gran, I'd better get going.
Take it easy on those women out there, will you, Gabe?
Women? You're my only girl, Gran. Hi. I'm Rebecca's grandson.
Much as when they were alive, the right elders give no response.
Hi. I'm Rebecca's grandson.
Much as when they were alive, the right elders give no response. The marker reads, Harley Wright.
Grand sister. She died young.
Gabriel doesn't want to take the nameplates from his family tomb.
Gran talks a lot. How's it going, Granddaddy? Miss you, Mom. Hey, Daddy.
Oh, you fucking squirrel.
Looks like someone left something in that vase.
Ooh, cha-ching.
Looks like it's my lucky day.
Alright, let's head back by the shop here real quick. Gonna be wrapping up this video soon.
Hey, kids!
Bruno, how nice.
Gee, a customer.
Of yours? Hardly.
How's the flower business?
Well, better than the used book business, I see.
Rare books.
That explains why I so rarely see anyone in here. Are you gonna sell me that wonderful painting of yours today?
How much would you give me for it?
Oh, you're serious? You'll let me have it?
Gabriel, don't you dare sell your father's painting.
Yeah, I'll let you have it all right. How much for the painting?
Well, I could give you 100. That's all I can let go at the moment, you know. My affairs are so tied up.
Gabriel, $100 for your father's painting?
Stay out of this, Grace. Fine. It's yours.
Gabriel!
Here's the 100.
There goes my
You
awesome
better take
snake
good care
and
of
skull
this, Bruno.
painting.
This is not just another of your hip art pieces, you know.
Really? Well, I fully intend to make the most of its display. Though not for your sake, I'm sure. At least in my shop, there'll be a chance of someone actually seeing it. I can't believe I actually got it. Just wait until I show Sid.
I don't believe you.
It's just a painting, Grace. There are things I have to do.
Gotta make that money.
I'll be back later.
Have fun.
Hitting the strip club.
Hi. I have $120. You still want to sell that crocodile mask?
That's 120 sure enough. That mask is yours, sir.
Oh yeah. Can't wait to wear this next time I'm porking some chick.
Yeah, thanks.
Now don't you go forgetting your lagniappe. A free bottle of Master Gambling Oil.
The sign said I could get Lady Luck Oil instead.
Well, I was thinking a man as young as you wouldn't be needing that kind of remedy. But, you's having problems with your,
That's all right. Believe me, I don't need it. I'll just stick with this. Thanks anyway.
'Cause it ain't none of my business if you do need it now, huh?
I don't need it.
Oh, of course you don't.
What a crock achievement. Alright folks, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Gabriel Knight. See you soon.